Kim by Rudyard Kipling. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Kim by Rudyard Kipling. Read by Adrian Pretzelis. Chapter 11, Part 2. They all piled into it a couple of hours later and slept through the heat of the day. The Kambo plied Kim with 10,000 questions as to the lama's walk and work in life, and received some curious answers. Kim was content to be where he was, to look out upon the flat northwestern landscape, and to talk to the changing mob of fellow passengers. Even today tickets and ticket clippings are dark oppression to Indian rustics. They do not understand why, when they have paid for a magic piece of paper, strangers should punch great pieces out of the charm. So long and furious are the debates between travellers and Eurasian ticket collectors. Kim assisted at 2 or 3 with grave advice meant to darken counsel and to show off his wisdom before the lama and the admiring Kambo. But at Somna Road the fates sent him a matter to think upon. There tumbled into the compartment, as the train was moving off, a mean, lean little person, a Mahratta as far as Kim could judge by the cock of the tight turban. His face was cut, his muslin upper garment was badly torn, and one leg was bandaged. He told them that a country cart had upset and nearly slain him. He was going to Delhi, where his son lived. Kim watched him closely. If, as he asserted, he had been rolled over and over on the earth, there should have been signs of gravel rash on the skin. But all his injuries seemed clean cuts, and a mere fall from a cart could not cast a man into such extremity of terror. As, with shaking fingers, he knotted up the torn cloth about his neck, he laid bare an amulet of the kind called Keeper-up of the Heart. Now, amulets are common enough, but they are not generally strung on square-plaited copper wire, and still fewer amulets bear black enamel on silver. There were none except the Kambo and the lama in the compartment, which luckily was of an old type with solid ends. Kim made as to scratch in his bosom, and thereby lifted his own amulet. The Mahratta's face changed altogether at the sight, and he disposed the amulet fairly on his breast. "Yes," he went on to the Kambo, "I was in haste, and the cart, driven by a bastard, bound its wheel in a water cut, and besides the harm done to me, there was lost a full dish of tarkeean. I was not a son of the charm (a lucky man) that day." "That was a great loss," said the Kambo, withdrawing interest. His experience of Benares had made him suspicious. "Who cooked it?" said Kim. "A woman." The Mahratta raised his eyes. "But all women can cook tarkeean," said the Kambo. "It is a good curry, as I know." "Oh yes, it is a good curry," said the Mahratta. "And cheap," said Kim. "But what about caste?" "Oh, there is no caste when men go look for tarkeean," the Mahratta replied in the prescribed cadence. "Of whose service art thou?" "Of the service of this Holy One." Kim pointed to the happy, drowsy lama, who woke up with a jerk at the well-loved word. "Ah, he was sent from heaven to aid me. He is called Friend of all the World. He is also called Friend of the Stars. He walks as a physician. His time being ripe, great is his wisdom." "And a son of the charm," said Kim under his breath, as the Kambo made haste to prepare a pipe lest the Mahratta should beg. "And who is that?" the Mahratta asked, glancing sideways nervously. "One whose child we have cured, who lies under great debt to us. Sit by the window, man from Jullundur. Here is a sick one." Hm! I have no desire to mix with chance-met wastrels. My ears are not long. I am not a woman wishing to overhear secrets." The Jat slid himself heavily into a far corner. "Art thou anything of a healer? I am 10 leagues deep in calamity," cried the Mahratta, picking up the cue. "This man is cut and bruised all over. I go about to cure him," Kim retorted. "None interfered between thy babe and me." "I am rebuked," said the Kamboh meekly. "I am thy debtor for the life of my son. Thou art a miracle worker. I know it." "Show me the cuts." Kim bent over the Mahratta's neck, his heart nearly choking him, for this was the great game with a vengeance. "Now tell thy tale swiftly, brother, while I say a charm." "I came from the south, where my work lay. One of us they slew by the roadside. Hast thou heard?" Kim shook his head. He, of course, knew nothing of E23's predecessor slain down south in the habit of an Arab trader. "Having found a certain letter which I was sent to seek, I came away. I escaped from the city and ran to Mhow. So sure was I that none knew, I did not change my face. At Mhow a woman brought charge against me of theft of jewellery in that city which I had left. Then I saw the cry was out against me. I ran from Mhow by night, bribing the police, who had been bribed to hand me over without questions to my enemies in the south. Then I lay in old Chitor city a week, a penitent in a temple. But I could not get rid of the letter which was my charge. I buried it under the Queen's Stone at Chitor, in the place known to us all." Kim did not know, but not for worlds would he have broken the thread. "At Chitor, look you, I was all in King's country. For Kota to the east is beyond the Queen's law, and east again lie Jaipur and Gwalior. Neither love spies, and there is no justice. I was hunted like a wet jackal, but I broke through at Bandakui, where I heard there was a charge against me of murder in the city I had left, of the murder of a boy. They have both the corpse and the witnesses waiting." "But cannot the Government protect?" "We of the game are beyond protection. If we die, we die. Our names are blotted from the book, that is all. At Bandakui, where lives one of us, I thought to slip the scent by changing my face, and so made me a Mahratta. Then I came to Agra, and would have turned back to Chittor to recover the letter. So sure I was I had slipped them. Therefore I did not send a tar (telegram) to anyone saying where the letter lay. I wish the credit of it all." Kim nodded. He understood that feeling well. "But at Agra, walking in the streets, a man cried a debt against me, and approaching with many witnesses, would hale me to the courts then and there. Oh, they are clever in the south. He recognized me as his agent for cotton. May he burn in hell for it." "And wast thou?" "Oh, fool! I was the man they sought for the matter of the letter. I ran into the flesher's ward and came out by the house of the Jew, who feared a riot and pushed me forth. I came afoot to Somna Road. I had only money for my ticket to Delhi. And there, while I lay in a ditch with a fever, one sprang out of the bushes and beat me and cut me and searched me from head to foot. Within earshot of the terrain it was." "Why did he not slay thee out of hand?" "They are not so foolish. If I am taken in Delhi at the insistence of lawyers upon a proven charge of murder, my body is handed over to the state that desires it. I go back guarded, and then I die slowly for an example to the rest of us. The south is not my country. I run in circles like a goat with one eye. I have not eaten for 2 days. I am marked." He touched the filthy bandage on his leg. "So they will know me at Delhi." "Thou art safe in the terrain at least."
live a year at the great game, and tell me that again. The wires will be out against me at Delhi, describing every tear and rag upon me. 20, 100, if need be, will have seen me slay that boy, and thou art useless."
Kim knew enough of native methods of attack not to doubt that the case would be deadly complete, even to the corpse. The Mahratta twitched his fingers with pain from time to time. The Kamboh in his corner glared sullenly. The lama was busy over his beads, and Kim, fondling doctor fashion at the man's neck, thought out his plan between invocations.
"Hast thou a charm to change my shape? Else I am dead. 5, 10 minutes alone. If I had not been so pressed, then I might—"
"Is he cured yet, miracle worker?" said the Kamboh jealously. "Thou hast chanted long enough."
"Nay, there is no cure for his hurts, as I see, except he sit for 3 days in the habit of a bairagi."
This is a common penance, often imposed on a fat trader by his spiritual teacher.
"One priest always goes about to make another priest,"
was the retort. Like most grossly superstitious folk, the Kamboh could not keep his tongue from deriding his church.
"Will thy son be a priest, then? It is time he took more of my quinine."
"We Jats are all buffaloes,"
said the Kamboh, softening anew. Kim rubbed a finger-tip of bitterness on the child's trusting little lips.
"I have asked for nothing," he said sternly to the father, "except food. Dost thou grudge me that? I go to heal another man. Have I thy leave, Prince?"
Up flew the man's huge paws in supplication.
"Nay, nay, do not mock me thus."
"It pleases me to cure this sick one. Thou shalt acquire merit by aiding. What colour ash is there in thy pipe bowl? White? That is auspicious. Was there raw turmeric among thy foodstuffs?"
I...
"Open thy bundle."
It was the usual collection of small oddments: bits of cloth, quack medicines, cheap fairings, a cloth full of atta, greyish, rough-ground native flour, twists of down-country tobacco, tawdry pipe stems, and a packet of curry stuff, all wrapped in a quilt. Kim turned it over with the air of a wise warlock, muttering a Mohammedan invocation.
"This is wisdom I learned from the Sahibs," he whispered to the lama.
And here, when one thinks of his training at Lurgan's, he spoke no more than the truth.
"There is a great evil in this man's fortune, as shown by the stars, which troubles him. Shall I take it away?"
"Friend of the stars, thou hast done well in all things. Let it be at thy pleasure. Is it another healing?"
"Quick, quick!"
gasped the Mahratta.
"The train may stop." "A healing against the shadow of death," said Kim, mixing the Kamboh's flour with the mingled charcoal and tobacco ash in the red earth bowl of the pipe. E23, without a word, slipped off his turban and shook down his long black hair.
"That is my food, priest,"
the Jat growled.
"A buffalo in the temple. Hast thou dared to look even thus far?" said Kim. "I must do mysteries before fools. But have a care for thine eyes. Is there a film before them already? I save the babe, and for return thou— Oh, shameless!" The man flinched at the direct gaze, for Kim was wholly in earnest. "Shall I curse thee, or shall I—" He picked up the outer cloth of the bundle and threw it over the bowed head. "Dare so much as to think a wish to see, and even I cannot save thee. Sit. Be dumb."
"I am blind, dumb. Forbear to curse. Come, child. We will play a game of hiding. Do not, for my sake, look from under the cloth."
"I see hope," said E23. "What is thy scheme?" "This comes next," said Kim, plucking the thin body shirt. E23 hesitated, with all a northwest man's dislike of baring his body. "What is caste to a cut-throat?" said Kim, rending it to the waist. "We must make thee a yellow sadhu all over. Strip swiftly, and shake thy hair over thine eyes while I scatter the ash. Now, a caste mark on thy forehead." He drew from his bosom the little Survey paint box and a cake of crimson lake. "Art thou only a beginner?" said E23, labouring literally for the dear life as he slid out of his body wrappings and stood clear in the loincloth while Kim splashed a noble caste mark on the ash-smeared brow. "But 2 days entered to the game, brother," Kim replied. "Smear more ash on the bosom." "Hast thou met a physician of sick pearls?" He switched out his long, tight-rolled turban cloth, and with swiftest hands rolled it over and about his loins into the intricate devices of a sadhu cincture. "Ha! Dost thou know his touch, then? He was my teacher for a while. We must bar thy legs. Ash cures wounds. Smear it again." "I was his pride once, but thou art almost better. The gods are kind to us. Give me that." It was a tin box of opium pills among the rubbish of the Jat's bundle. E23 gulped down a half-handful. "They are good against hunger, fear and chill, and they shall make the eyes red too," he explained. "Now I shall have heart to play the game. We lack only a sadhu's tongs. What of the old clothes?" Kim rolled them small and stuffed them into the slack folds of his tunic. With a yellow ochre paint cake he smeared the legs and the breast, great streaks, against the background of flour, ash and turmeric. "The blood on them is enough to hang thee, brother." "Maybe, but no need to throw them out of the window. It is finished." His voice thrilled with a boy's pure delight in the game. "Turn around and look, O Jat."
"The gods protect us," said the hooded Kambo, emerging like a buffalo from the reeds. "But whither went the Mahratta? What hast thou done?"
Kim had been trained by Lurgan Sahib, and E23, by virtue of his business, was no bad actor. In place of the tremulous, shrinking trader, there lolled against the corner an all but naked, ash-smeared, ochre-barred, dusty-haired sadhu, his swollen eyes—opium takes quick effect on an empty stomach—luminous with insolence and bestial lust, his legs crossed under him, Kim's brown rosary round his neck, and a scant yard of worn flowered chintz on his shoulders. The child buried his face in his amazed father's arms.
"Look up, princeling. We travel with warlocks, but they will not hurt thee. Oh, do not cry. What is the sense of curing a child one day and killing him with fright the next?"
"The child will be fortunate all his life. He has seen a great healing. When I was a child, I made claymen and horses. I have made them too. Sir Banas, he comes in the night and makes them all alive at the back of our kitchen midden," piped the child. "And so, thou art not frightened at anything, eh, Prince?" "I was frightened because my father was frightened. I felt his arms shake."
"Oh, chicken man," said Kim, and even the abashed Jat laughed.
"I have done a healing on this poor trader. He must forgive his gains and his account books, and sit by the wayside 3 nights to overcome the malignity of his enemies. The stars are against him."
"The fewer the moneylenders, the better, I say. But sadhu or sadhu, he should pay for my stuff on his shoulders."
"So? But that is thy child on thy shoulder, given over to the burning ghat not 2 days ago. There remains one thing more. I did this charm in thy presence because need was great. I changed his shape and his soul. None the less, if by any chance, O man from Jalandhur, thou rememberest what thou hast seen, either among the elders sitting under the village tree, or in thine own house, or in company of thy priest when he blesses thy cattle, a murrain will come among the buffaloes, and a fire in thy thatch, and rats in thy corn bin, and the curse of our gods upon thy fields, that they may be barren before thy feet and after thy ploughshare." This was part of an old curse picked up from a fakir at the Taksali Gate in the days of Kim's innocence. It lost nothing by repetition.
"Cease, Holy One! In mercy, cease!" cried the Jat. "Do not curse the household. I saw nothing. I heard nothing. I am thy cow." And he made to grab at Kim's bare foot, beating rhythmically on the carriage floor.
"But since thou hast been permitted to aid me in the matter of a pinch of flour and a little opium and such trifles as I have honoured by using in my art, so will the gods return a blessing." And he gave it at length, to the man's immense relief. It was one that he had overheard from Lurgan Sahib. The lama stared through his spectacles as he had not stared at the business of disguisement.
"Friend of the stars," he said at last, "thou hast acquired great wisdom. Beware that it does not give birth to pride. No man having the law before his eyes speaks hastily of any matter which he has seen or encountered."
"No, no, no, indeed!" cried the farmer, fearful lest the master should be minded to improve on the pupil. E23, with relaxed mouth, gave himself up to the opium that is meat, tobacco and medicine to the spent Asiatic. So, in a silence of awe and great miscomprehension, they slid into Delhi about lamp-lighting time. Chapter 11